What's up guys, welcome back to the channel. I'm going to show you guys how to do a Scion, FRS, Subaru, BRZ, Toyota GT86. They're probably all the same, probably all similar. I know that the 2013, I think to 2022, so all those years is going to be the same setup for this. So this is a 2014 Scion FRS, they're all the same. It needs a clutch. I've actually seen that most of the clutch needs repaired between 60,000 and 90,000 miles. You're gonna have to do it, especially if you put any kind of forced induction on this supercharger or turbocharger, you're gonna wanna do a clutch. I've been quoted that it's $2,500 to do this. I've also been quoted that it's only $1,900 and I got one for $1,600. So this should save you a lot of money with this how-to video. The most complicated thing on this is going to be removing the transmission and then putting the transmission back on. Everything else should be pretty easy. I've seen a couple different methods of this, so I'm just gonna show you the easiest is how to do this at your house. I did get a aftermarket clutch and flywheel and a throwout bearing. I've heard that these throwout bearings are pretty bad. So here's a throwout bearing right here. It's literally a bearing. It's greased. Here's a pressure plate that we're going to install. Literally has pressure. Here is a clutch, which looks like an EXIGE one. Hopefully it's all good. Everything's good. And then here's the flywheel. Small, cute, very easy. And then this is a pilot bearing. So we're going to have all this installed. It'll be amazing. I actually have done a lot of clutches. This is probably my 10th clutch job on a vehicle, but I've not done one on this. So first things first, let's open up the hood. We're actually gonna put it on jack stands before I put the hood open. I did open the hood, but we're gonna put it on jack stands. I'm gonna use the highest ones in the front and then have it tapered just a little bit in the back. I have a set of 4 jack stands that I think they all hold 4,000 pounds. And we're gonna put this as high as we possibly can get it so that we can get under the car and have room. I'm a big dude, 6'4", so you need a little bit of room to get underneath the car, and it's all right in this area. Okay, now that you have your car raised up, pretty high as you can go with the jacks. Good idea to have it pretty high. I'll get some light and clean up underneath there. There's a couple things that you can start off. One, you can just start right here. Or two, I've seen people, which I'm gonna do it this way, you disconnect the shifter from the inside instead of down below. So we're gonna actually do that. Okay, we did, before we jumped in there, we removed the battery, 2 10mm bolts and then 2 10mm bolts in the bracket. The battery set aside. I did see that you can immediately go right into the slave cylinder right here. And I believe those are gonna be 2, probably 14mm. So it's right here. So actually let's do that real quick first before we jump in there. Okay, 2 14mm have been removed here and here. And now we have a lot more access. To be honest, this is pretty easy. I don't even know if I'm gonna have to remove these crossbars. I might have to remove this brace bar. It's kind of cool. You can actually see into the transmission and the bell house right here. That's kind of cool with that little opening. Okay, while up here, there is another 14mm right there. My wrench is hanging off of that. That's going to be for the starter. There's 2 of those. We're going to move that and pull that starter off. There's also a lot of connections of the wires up here. And we're going to just disconnect each one of those, and I'll show you guys those. The inner starter bolt right here was a pain in you know what. So 1, 2, and then I set the starter over here. It's kind of ugly. And then I did the 2 14mm on the bell housing, one up there, and then I'm not sure if there's another one, or down there. It's not up there, down there, and then another 14mm. You should buy a 14mm right here. You should buy a ratcheting wrench of a 14mm. I'm literally doing this with this. I bought this like 20 years ago when I was 16. This is just a $100 kit from Craftsman. I don't have the best tools, and I've just been using this right here, and definitely recommend a ratcheting. Here's a ratcheting, or a gear wrench is what they call it actually. Look at that. So you should get that in 14mm. We've done good work. We're about 2 hours in to get here. We're gonna come over to the inside of the FRS BRZ GT86, and what we're trying to do now is we're gonna try to release, their transmission sits right here. We're gonna try to release the shifter right here that's connected to it from the top, so that when we go down below, we do have easy access that this is disconnected. So first things first is I'm gonna remove the shift knob. And we're doing all this. It does require you to actually remove the entire center console. I believe I've already done that. I think on this car, I'm not sure why, but I believe I've already done it. I think to get to this actually, because these are really cool, the RC versions. So we're gonna be doing that. There's going to be, I think you can just yank up on this if I recall. Yeah. And then we're just gonna disconnect a lot of little wires, and there's quite a few little screws. But what you're trying to do, and you're gonna have to come over on the side here and disconnect this. Your main goal is that you're trying to get this center console out. There's gonna be some screws right here as well. I don't wanna spend too much of the video on this. It's very easy. So clip, you just pull this out. You literally just yank it out, it'll come out. You just unscrew the shift knob, yank up on that as we did, unclick this. Phillips head, Phillips head, Phillips head. And then 10 millimeter, 10 millimeter. I think that's all, that's it, and then it'll come up. Yeah, I was right, there's nothing else. To pull up on the e-brake cover, which I need a new one, you just pull up on it, it will separate. So the reason that we're in here is we're trying, because this right here is connected to the transmission, and if we're gonna drop the transmission, this will come with it. So that's the idea behind it. Let's see what this is. I think you might be able to yank that one up, yeah. So we're trying to get underneath here. Cute, this is cute. Oh, there's another one up here. Okay, and we're trying to get up underneath here. Right here, these are gonna be some 12, so let's buzz these off real quick. 12, 12, 12, 12. Okay, it's removed, as you guys can see here, 12. Now we have 4 10 millimeters, and they call this the shifter to the shifter carrier. I've seen you gotta be careful with this. Make sure that this is all aligned as it goes back, because sometimes you won't be able to go into reverse, and this is how it works, that little mechanism. So make sure that you put those back on correctly. Okay, what they don't tell you, or a lot of them, is that to remove the actual shifter, there's gonna be a pin, and the pin is on the side of here. Here's your little pin. And it's holding, with a washer, this right here on the shoulder. This is what your shifter looks like. This is a short shifter, or this is just a stock one, but you can get a short shifter, which I'll probably do. Right here. And so it's connected onto this. I did tear the boot. The boot seems to always be torn on all the videos I've seen. So, but we now have access to this. This is all removed here. There is really nothing connecting. We are gonna want to remove this, I believe. So I think we're done on the interior now. So we're gonna actually go down below. This process will probably take you 20 to 30 minutes, and you're outside of the inside of the car. These cars are so cool. I love the under trays underneath them. Just like my Lotus is cool. FRSs are sick. This is a great platform. Just a little slow, but still awesome. So I took those out. The next thing we're trying to do is drain the transmission, and I'll show you guys how to do that underneath there. And then between this whole area, this is where we're gonna take out the transmission. It'll come down and lay on my chest, and then I'll roll it over here. And get it out of the way so that we can take off the clutch. I'm gonna clean underneath here because my ground's kind of dirty, so let me clean that real quick. Okay, both drain plug and fill plug of transmission have been removed. I think they're different. I think that's the top one and this is the lower one. That being said, I use this. It's a 10 millimeter big giant Allen key, and it got these two off. And now we're draining all the fluid. And I don't think this transmission fluid's ever been changed. Here's a mid pipe that's been removed. It is 4 14 millimeter bolts. I think, actually, these are 14 and then these are 16. So make sure you're 14 and 16. We're gonna try to remove the, I did put the drain plug back on of the transmission so we don't get the drain fluid, the transmission fluid on us. Now what we're gonna do is we're gonna start removing the drive shaft. Okay, we've gotten the mid drive shaft out. It goes into the transmission in the mid part. This is gonna be 14 millimeters here and then 4 14 millimeters right there. I did mark it so I know where it goes back, which direction it goes back, because it is one unit that does rotate, so that you have a nice engagement. I'm not sure if that's, I think for some reason, I would think it just spin anyways. Now we're gonna go down back underneath here, and I'm gonna remove the rear transmission mount. Okay, we did it. We got the tranny out. This is pretty chewed up. This is what everyone talks about. I can see it on here. Can't wait to clean all this. Okay, I actually just pulled that out and put it on my chest, and then lowered it down. When I put it back up in, I will end up putting it on a my floor jack, my little low profile floor jack. On a lot of the videos I saw online, they said to remove this, but I didn't know how to remove it, and it just came out with me, and I didn't break anything, so I don't know. This all needs cleaned. There is no transmission fluid out. We drained it, and then we're gonna do the throw-up bearing and clean all this. I'll wire brush inside of there. Let's go look at the clutch. Okay, I got the flywheel out. Blood, sweat, and tears. That's a boo-boo. What happened is with the flywheel, there are 8 12 millimeters right here from factory, and they probably have some kind of glue on them. You can see this is all warped and garbage. But that being said, yeah, that's pretty bad. What I did and what I've seen is you wedge, I had a flathead screwdriver, and I wedged it between one of the teeth for the starter and the bell housing where the bell housing on the transmission goes. And then I used just a breaker bar and broke it loose. Well, I got all of them except for the last one, which I slipped and bam, busted my knuckles. Yikes, those are bad. But now we have the flywheel out. Let's look over here. I think the original transmission or the original flywheel and clutch are EXIGE. So I think that this is original. And this car has 100,000 miles on it. You can hear that this thing was just about ready to give out. It is EXIGE. It's just toast. You can see that there's nothing left on here, especially on the back of it. It's just completely toast. And that's why it's bad. So we got a new one. I don't even remember what the brand is, to be honest. Here. Yeah, I don't know, the little Hawk guy. And there's so much more grip left on this. This also is a 6 spring. And then here's a new pressure plate. I don't know if it's gonna be equal or not. Here's a new flywheel with a new, the new pilot, and then also the new throw-up bearing. So what we're gonna do now is clean the bell housing, put on the new throw-up bearing. Also, you're gonna wanna purchase this, some lubricant, and you're gonna lube everything. You're gonna lube here, you're gonna lube there, you're gonna lube everything, except for, of course, the clutch and pressure plate. You wanna lube those. But you do want it so it's smooth, and then we'll also even lube up here and clean that, and then lube around the shifter, and it'll feel like a brand new car. Use a lot of grease. I've come to find that grease, we'll use a little bit on there, but that actually helps with the car feeling new. So what we're gonna do now is go put the flywheel back on, and we'll see what we need to torque it to. So I'm gonna reuse the OEM 12 millimeter bolts, and I'm gonna throw some Loctite blue, which means you can remove it. Thread locker is what it is, so they don't back out. You need to do 63 foot-pounds torqued, and you're gonna do a star just as you do your wheels. So you start the top, bottom, left, right, go all the way around. Make a star, and we'll go down there and do that now, and I'll show you guys what it looks like. Okay, so we're obviously down underneath the car. You can see that we put the new flywheel on. So 63 pounds right here, you're gonna do one here, then you're gonna here, and then here, and then here, and then, you know, all the way, just make a star. Like that. Once that's on there at 63 pounds, you should be good. I think this might be a little bit lighter of a flywheel. It did feel a little bit lighter, but nothing crazy. And then now you're gonna see here are your guidelines for your studs right here, and then these are gonna put your pressure plate bolts on here, and they're probably not as tight. They're probably like 30 pounds. I'll have to go look what those are and I'll tell you. And then you can use a little bit of thread locker on those as well. Okay, use your little alignment plastic tool, like 9,000%. Almost all of the clutch kits are provided with these, so you'll use that to hold that actual clutch. That's your clutch right there. I don't know what brand this is. I hope it's good. I think it's pretty reasonable. So we'll see if it lasts. It is a lot of work to do this. And then now we're gonna throw up the pressure plate over top of this. Okay, I did a lot of lubricant on there, and I like it like that because it's quiet. If you don't do it, it can make noise. The throw-up bearing's so much quieter on this. So I did just lubricated everything on there just to show you guys. Looks great. This is ready to go in. Let's go back down to the pressure plate and make sure everything's torqued down. Okay, I've just been reversing all the steps now, putting all the bolts back. I did the transmission with the jack, had it right here sitting on the middle, and then my wife jacked it up. You're gonna need someone else to do that unless you're really, really skilled. I used to be able to do it by myself, but I was really struggling because this one's so long. It does go right back on in my case. Make sure that you do use lubricant. I did test the clutch, it seems to be working. Of course, I haven't put the starter, or started it yet. I did put the starter bolts back on, and then I put all the mounting bolts back on. We just need to do, the only thing down below is going to be the drive shaft. So I'll put the drive shaft back on, and then we'll move back to the top of the car. Okay, final step, I want to re-add some gear oil using some SAE 75 weight W90. We're gonna put that in. I'm also gonna change the diff. And then we're done. I do need to put the skid plates back on over here. So we're gonna put the skid plate and the transmission cover back on. A couple 10 millimeters, takes no time at all. And then we'll put the car down and we'll go for our first drive. Okay, that's it for this video, we did it. The car's back down. Overall, this will probably, if you're a novice, this will probably take you between 12 and 18 hours. If you're a pro, maybe like 5 to 6. For me, the whole thing took me 10 hours, so pretty decent. We're gonna go for a drive, and I'll probably do a break-in video for you guys, show how to break in a clutch. But yeah, we're done. Things that you should definitely get is the 75W90 gear oil. A lot of people run the Motul. I just didn't want to wait for it to come in the mail, to be honest. So I just put the gear oil in, and I used a little hand pump, and then I also did the diff, which I could do another video for that. So easy on both of those. But this overall is probably going to be up there, so like a 4 out of 5 difficulty. This is like one of the harder things to do on a car, is to drop a transmission or to drop an engine. Those are probably like most difficult things. The ultimate difficult thing is to install fabrication stuff. That is the hardest, or to build an engine. Non-OEM stuff is always difficult because it doesn't fit good, but plug and play, that's where it's at. Plug and play is really fun, where you unplug the OEM stuff, put the aftermarket stuff on. It's a good time. So I'm gonna go for a drive. I hope you found this helpful. This is the easiest video on YouTube for a clutch, super easy. If you get stuck somewhere, comment down below, I'll help you. Don't forget to put your splash guard back on. Those are 4 12 millimeters for mine, threw it back on, and we're good to go. Like, subscribe, swingmymitch.com. Hope you guys enjoyed this content. See you on the next video.